We have some questions. This is the 7th inning stretch, so if you'd like to stand up and stretch your legs, you can. Give you an idea of what's coming in. Vocal recordings and research. What are your recommendations to both the voice students and to the curious explorer in making the best use of the wealth of recorded vocal performance now available online? Do it. It's a good idea. It's fantastic. And yes, the idea that you shouldn't listen to somebody else sing what you're singing because you might imitate is not a vocal problem. It's a mental problem. Don't imitate. But, you know, if you're going to try something that somebody did really successfully for 35 years on their life, maybe it's good to listen. I've never known of a writing school that said, don't read Hemingway. I've never known of LeBron James saying, well, you know I'm great, but it's great because my mom hid the Michael Jordan tapes. It doesn't make any sense. Imitation is another problem. Hearing how somebody's worked it out with their talent is quite informative. So yes, YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, just please, please, please take personal responsibility that you are purchasing that which should be purchased. And if you are listening to something that's free online, that is actually legally free online. Don't steal music. It's not fair. When portraying a role, especially one that is emotionally complex, I often find myself getting too involved in the acting and my body and vocal apparatus tenses up. Did I write this? No. How do you find a balance between technique and emotion while playing an intense character? Yes, very good idea. Find that balance between technique and intense character. You know, and actually that being still a little bit silly, but you know, this is the A and O of singing, and certainly on stage, without question. I'm quite sure that in this world of dramatic emphasis and visual hysteria, that as an opera singer, concentrating on your vocalism to convey from your soul and body and abilities as a singer within a physicality of what you're doing on stage is probably what you need to refocus. What we do as singers that works, vocalism is far more important to conveying the character than anything you can do on stage. Now that sounds like I'm bashing modern regie. I'm not. I'm just saying let's work from the inside out. If you can't sing it, doing it isn't going to help. All right? That's how I feel about it. That's a lot of information. But I think if you are finding yourself getting tense and crazy because you're just so into the character, one, it is called acting. So pull back, you know, find yourself, and nothing you act is going to make anything you sing sound better. So probably you need to go back and work on that. How do you teach the concept of support, antagonism, as you just explained, of inhalation and exhalation to beginners who don't necessarily use their ribs or know how to keep them open? Is it just over the idea of inhalation, or do you have any other advice? If it's truly a beginner, then you open up the book and you show them how your skeleton's built, and you show them the body, and you say, now here, you get it? This is your 8th rib, and actually your 7th, 8th, and 9th all together, and your other ones are here. I would explain exactly how the body's built, and then start with some yoga exercises that actually start you to feel what your body is. What she's asking is a very valid question. How do we start? If you've never had that opportunity, then take a yoga class and find out, oh, I see when my body, that's why I have that, the hiccup, right? Body work, body work, body work. It's simple. Your athleticism, it is an athletic endeavor to sing on stage. Don't kid yourself. Without question. Everybody else in the world thinks that we just wake up in the morning and we're a bunch of birds. And you all know that that's just nonsense. Nonsense. That's what warming up is. Warming up is as physical as it is vocal. As you get older, it is always more physical. So learn that habit now. At your age, I, quite by accident, discovered yoga. I took an acting class in a public college because I thought, well, it looks like fun and it's an easy credit, right? 6 weeks later, I walked out with a Roger Hittleman 28-day yoga training and a whole different realization of what that could mean, you know? The use of your body to tell your story is really what acting is all about. It's not some sort of crazy discipline. It's just sort of let your being reflect what it is that you're singing. And we have it easier than actors because we have composers Every breath I take on stage is given to me by the composer. Well, that's half my homework. Now just get out of the way, right? Opera is a musical art form. It is not a theatrical art form. It is a musical art form in a theatrical environment. Its theatricity is born of its musical language. And you can slice that comment up any way you want to, but it remains true. Every breath, every rest, every harmony, every motion of emotion that is given that I want to give, whether it's Rigoletto or Hoffmann or Largo Factotum, is already there. Doing it is fun and can bring something to it, but it has to be it first. Twitter question. Do you use the same vocal technique in all genres, or do you use a more lyric-oriented technique in musical song and lieder? That's a wonderful question. Of course it's the same technique, but if you've ever played tennis on different surfaces, it's a different game. The speed of the ball and the reaction on clay is different than on grass, and certainly different on asphalt. But do I hold the racket different? No. If you drive a car and it's snowing, do you drive differently? Mm-hmm. You know, all right? You get what I mean? So yes, the basics we're working with here and the things that I'm trying to help you with your tools in your garden are regardless of genre. And yes, of course, the more experienced you are and the better you are with your tools, the more flexible perhaps you can work in those different genres. I do not believe that a voice has a sound. I think a voice can be and should be reflective of the different things that we are singing in the different genres that we are confronted with. I don't think just because you're singing the Verdi Requiem that we should necessarily believe that you're going to sing Filippo II, although it would probably be the same kind of voice. Maybe a better example is, if I sing Cole Porter, why in the hell should you think that I can sing Macbeth? I think this is the wrong way to approach things. I think we should take the genres that you sing. If you're going to sing, what you're singing should sound exactly why it was written. And that's the adventure of being a singer with a wide repertoire, right? Manufacturing a sound, I think, is a very poor way to build voices. And I don't care about voice. I want to build singers. I want you to sing. I'm not here to build a sound or a voice. I'm here to work with singers. Saying no to roles. You must, at this stage of your career, be able to say no when asked to do a role which is not for your voice, too high, too low, and such. I have heard more than one singer struggle with a part which is too low and then loses high notes, or vice versa. Why don't these singers say no? I would think at a level you are, you could. But I also have heard that if you say no to certain houses, you would be blackballed by that house. What is a young beginning of career singer to do? Well, there's a lot of questions in that one. and that'll be the last one. Look, saying no is certainly the hardest thing to do in a career, in a business. And there are always consequences to it, without question. You can't sing what you can't sing, and you shouldn't sing. I've pushed the edges of my repertoire beyond what a lot of people or some people thought I should. I don't really care about that. I sang what passionately interested me, and I was offered it. I was offered the challenge to try. You can't hire yourself, so it's always a conversation. If you just fervently believe that you don't want to sing it, can't sing it, and won't sing it, nobody's going to punish you for that. If you take on something because you want a job and you're hoping for the best and you fail, that could have consequences. So be strong in yourself. As a young singer, sing that which you should sing. In my day, doing a lot of auditions, the rule of thumb was, and it was a very good one, only sing arias in audition from roles and repertoire that you would be hireable for. Many occasions I saw people sing or audition for, with Trovatore aria. And they, wow, a young Verdi baritone. Wow, we're doing Macbeth next season. Why doesn't he come do that? Right? As a rule of thumb. Now, you can push that envelope a little bit, but not too much. If I look at the repertoire list here today, I don't understand how a tenor sings Celea and Mozart. But that's another question. And young, you're trying to find your centers of gravities, and that's fine. But I don't have any career advice. I know a lot about singing. Sing as well as you possibly can. The opportunities will be there. Good singing is not heard only in the shower.